Hey families, it's Ms. Valencia here, and today we're going to be looking at your learning packet number 5, and we're going to be talking about reading. One of the activities that you have there is to read a nonfiction text, and there's a lot of text in the packet itself that that is nonfiction that goes along with your content portion, and I just kind of wanted to recap some of the nonfiction text features that we have covered over the year and some things for you to look out for, in addition to me reading a nonfiction, one of my favorite nonfiction texts. But before I go on to that, we did discuss in the school year the difference between fiction and nonfiction. Nonfiction is information. The reader is learning lots of facts and just gaining a lot of new information. The purpose for nonfiction text features is to teach readers and to give more information on things that they probably didn't know before. So in addition to that, there are features that we need to look out for, and I'm going to cover them over the slideshow that's going to come after this. You're going to pay attention to a table of contents, photographs, heading, charts or diagrams, labels, captions. There is an index. There's sometimes an index and sometimes a glossary. So those are some text features that we have covered throughout the year, and maybe some features you can pay attention to as I'm reading my book at the end, or a section of the book at the end of the video for you to pay attention to. So those are the nonfiction text features. That's what I get for saying it so fast, that we're going to cover. So again, one of the benefits of having not reading nonfiction is because we don't not like fiction, we don't have to start from the beginning. We can just go ahead and pick any page we want to start with. So whatever interests us, and I'm going to model that for you guys later on as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the features in detail. Okay, so I'm going to start the slide from the beginning. Okay, so here you go. So the first nonfiction text feature that we're going to talk about is the title. The title is usually found on the book cover or on top of the text that you're getting ready to read. So it tells you, if it's in front of a book, it tells you the name of the book and what usually it's going to be about. So for example, the picture here has National Geographic Kids, and it talks about deadliest animals. So that lets you know that the book that you're getting ready to read is about deadliest animals. So the title helps the reader by telling the reader what the book is going to be about, the book or the text is going to be about. The next one is pretty common, and it's actually quite common that a lot of my smarties do mention from time to time, and it's the table of contents. Table of contents tells you the names of the chapters or topics and what pages these chapters or topics can start on. So the table of contents saves the reader time because it can give them the exact place that they need to go to. So it tells you the exact page. So you don't, like I said, you don't have to read from the beginning. You can just pick the topic that you want to learn more about and go ahead and go straight to that page. And again, I will model that later. The next nonfiction text feature we're going to look at is called the heading. A heading is the title that is usually at the top of the page or at the beginning of a new chapter or section. So the heading helps the reader know more about what that section is going to be about. And usually the heading is the title, or whatever the title for the heading is what you will usually see in the table of contents. Next nonfiction text feature is the map. A map is a picture that shows the locations of places or things. A map can help the reader see where places or things are located. Photograph with a caption. And these usually go side and side because when you have a photograph, you usually have a caption. So the photograph is a picture that is taken with a camera. It's an actual replica of what the topic is about. And then the caption is words that go along with the picture, and it gives you more information about the photograph. So the photo helps the reader see what the text is talking about, and the caption explains what's happening in the photograph. Next one is an illustration. An illustration is a hand-drawn picture in a fiction or nonfiction book. An illustration helps the reader visualize the text. So in looking at nonfiction, if you were to read a nonfiction book about dinosaurs, I mean, you're not really going to get a photograph, an actual photograph of a dinosaur. So usually, you know, authors tend to provide an illustration so you can kind of see or visualize, you know, certain things about a specific dinosaur. So usually you will see an illustration about that. Is usually the example I like to use. Next one is a diagram. A diagram is a picture that is labeled. A diagram can help the reader by telling the parts of something. And we usually like to label our pictures when our Smarties are in writing, and we use it in our writing, so it helps the readers when they're reading our writing get to see, you know, what the parts are of our picture. And last but not least, we have a glossary. A glossary is an alphabetical list of difficult words and their meanings. A glossary helps the reader understand what a word means. And usually when you're looking at the text and you see a bolded word, which is also another nonfiction text feature, the bolded word is usually going to be in the glossary, where you can find what that word means. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go ahead and start my video back up again. So the nonfiction book that I'm going to share with you today is going to be about spiders. So here we have National Geographic Kids Spiders, and the author here is Laura Marsh. So just like I said, what I want you to do is, while I'm reading this, pay attention to see if you can find some nonfiction text features. See if you can point those out, and just like try to do like a little scavenger hunt and make a list of some features that you noticed. Spiders. Okay, here's a nonfiction text feature that I covered. And as much as I would like to go and read from the beginning, I'm actually just going to go ahead and find what I want to know about. So I think I want to know a little bit more about the senses, and that's on page 14. And the reason why I want to know about senses is because just like we have 5 senses, I wonder if spiders have the same senses that we do. I know we use our eyes to see, our noses to smell, our hands and to touch. So I wonder if spiders have similar senses to us. And I think, just because I think it looks interesting, I want to read also about web builders. And I'm going to look at page 16, and I'll probably move on to page 18 because that goes together with webs spinning silk. So I actually want to go into those 3 topics. So again, try to see if you can find any nonfiction text features as I read. So I'm going to go ahead and go to page 14, senses. So I'll start there, and I know I need to finish after I get to page 18. So 19 will probably be my last page. Okay. So we're looking at page 14, and here we go. Senses. Most spiders have 8 eyes, but they can't see very well, so they need more than their eyes to catch dinner. Small hairs on a spider's legs sense movement. A spider feels an insect caught in its web. It's dinner time. So in just reading just this section of the book, I noticed I can answer some questions that I had. So just like we can see, so can spiders can see. But I also noticed that we have 2 eyes and spiders have 8. I never knew that before. And I also learned that they cannot see very well. And I know when we can't see very well, we use glasses or contacts. So I know they can't have that for spiders, but it's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next page. Web builders. Different spiders make different webs. Orb webs have a circle pattern. Funnel webs are built like tubes. Funnel web. Tangle webs, cobwebs, are a jumble of threads. Tangle web. Trapdoor spider webs cover a spider's home in the ground. Trapdoor spider's web. Did you notice any new nonfiction text features? Write them Okay, last one. Spinning silk. Not all spiders make webs, but all spiders make silk. They wrap their eggs in silk. They wrap their prey in silk too. Spiders even travel by silk. They use it like a rope. Spiders climb down to different places, or they let the wind carry them. A spider wrapping its prey in silk. Ooh, so that must be the dinner, and it's wrapping its dinner in silk. Do you notice any nonfiction text features that we talked about? Well, I learned a few things about spiders that I did not know before, and I really found it very interesting, the different types of webs that some spiders build. And I also liked learning about the silk that they make, okay? So again, when we're reading nonfiction text, we are reading to learn new information, just like I did. And we also have to pay attention to these nonfiction text features because they provide us with extra information that we need, okay? So thank you guys so much for joining me in this video and paying attention and watching. And if you notice any nonfiction text features, go ahead and write them down and maybe go tell somebody in your home and just tell them all the interesting things that you learned about spiders, just like I did. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.